Hey, I'm Dustin over here at Mantle, and I am here to help you how to convert an online lead. I know a lot of you have problems with it, whether it's a Zillow lead, somebody coming in through your website, whatever. We are here to help you out today. So let's jump right in. How do you convert a lead? Well, very first thing you need to do is whenever they come into the system, make sure you call them immediately. Why do you need to call them immediately? Well, it's the term we use around here called modality. What that means is that as a client lead, whatever you've got going on, they're in the mood about real estate right then and there. Let's take my life, for example. If you called me 4 hours later, I'm probably at football practice, working out, something like that. I don't care about talking about real estate. I only wanted to talk about real estate right then and there, and I might answer you, I might not, but if you called somebody immediately within the first 5 minutes, you're about guaranteed to catch them in that right mode of talking about real estate. Now, what happens if they don't answer? Well, here's where debates actually come into play. I personally will do a double dial. What a double dial is means that you're gonna call, they don't answer, you hang up and you call back. Why would you double dial? Well, because actually you're gonna answer that second phone call, be like, this person really needs something. So they're gonna answer that. And if they answer and they're a little bit mad, you can use whatever line you wanna use of why you hung up in the first place, or just skip right over it and get straight to business. If they don't answer the phone, then we want to leave a voicemail. What kind of voicemail do we want to leave? Well, not what you're normally leaving. You guys, you normally leave, hey, this is Dustin over here at Mantle Realty. I saw that you signed up on our website. Wanted to see what I could do for you. This is how much the house is listed for, or oh, that property's already sold, everything else. No. The correct way to leave that very first voicemail is, it's a lot like dating. You gotta be calm, cool, and collected. You gotta just say, hey, this is Dustin. Give me a call back. Yes, your very first script whenever you're leaving it, that very first voicemail is, this is my name, call me back. Why? Because again, we've got that intrigue going on. We've got people that are actually being like, hey, I don't know who this is. I'm supposed to know because they didn't tell me anything else about them. Let's call them back. All right, so we've worked this downside of this tree, and I can give you a link to this graph here. We call it a mind map of what's going on. So we've answered the no's. We've left a voicemail. After I left that voicemail, I would probably do something in just a little bit of sending a text message, something to the nature of, hey, try to give you a call. Give me a shout whenever you can. Dustin. Again, not putting everything out there. I'm not just spewing information. That's one thing we're gonna learn today. Don't spew everything that you know about a property, everything else in the first 5 minutes. Next thing up is, if I still didn't get them, I would start sending them video messages of, hey, I saw that you signed up on our property, wanted to put a face with a name.
Hey, this is Holly. This is the face. Holly's the name.
Hey, this is Uemi at Mantle Realty.
Hello, I'm Abdul. I work with Mantle Realty.
My name's Dustin. Saw you looking at this property at 123 Main Street. Wanted to see what you like about it, see if I could set you up a search to do you a favor. We are trying to save them time, energy, money as real estate agents. We don't care about just that one property. We want to make sure that they know about all the properties. So let's actually protect these people. Go ahead and treat them like clients. All right, so that's what we're gonna do if we don't get any answers across the board. So we went down this whole side over here. Now let's go to the other side. All right, so we get them on the phone. What's the very first thing that we do? We assume that everything is correct of that lead that came into our system. We assume that the name is right, the email is right, and the phone number is right. No, please do not say, hey, is this Dustin? How are you doing today? Why? Because when somebody calls me and they say, is this Dustin? That means I automatically know they don't know me. And when they ask me, how am I doing today, is, you really don't care, you're trying to sell me something. All right, so you get them on the phone and you ask them the simple question, is now a bad time to talk? Why? Because we want to let them be in charge, or at least they think they are, and they want to say no. Like, no, I'm not interested, or no, I don't have time. But we ask them, is now a bad time to talk? If they answer as yes, it's a bad time to talk, we want to do something where we're not very desperate. We want to answer them like, oh, I totally understand. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure I'm actually the realtor for you. I needed to talk to you a little bit more to see if you sort of fit what we've got going on here, to see if it matches what you're looking for. I might have a little bit of free time at 5 o'clock today or maybe 10 o'clock tomorrow. I might could squeeze you in, but I'm not sure about anything else. Does either one of these work for you? Now, if they're really interested in a property or really want to talk about something, you've just intrigued them because they're like, oh, wow, this person is now denying me. They're not desperate. They're not chasing me. So there's something a little bit different about this agent here. And so then set your schedule based off of that. And we'll follow up off of whenever it is a good time to talk, and we're gonna send those messages out. But on the opposite side, let's say we are actually going great and we ask, is now a bad time to talk? And they say no, like most people are going to. Say, okay, great. My name is Dustin, and I saw that you signed up on our website to look at properties. I wanted to see what you're looking for and what I could do to help you out in your home buying process. Pause off of this. Let them simmer, let them answer your questions. Don't just start selling them everything that you've got going on of, oh, we've got this, that, and the other. Show you this property right now. What did you like about this? How much it can go do this and this, and let me set you up. And are you pre-approved? No. Let them simmer a little bit. And they're gonna answer you in certain different ways, but really and truly, we need to find out a lot of the who, what, where, when, why questions so we can qualify this lead inside of our system. So my very first question is, so I see that you signed up on our website. Where are you at in your home search right now? And that's gonna give me a lot of information of if they're looky-loos or if they're just looking at neighbor houses or if they've been looking for 6 months or if they've got to go ahead and buy a house tomorrow. So usually we can get a timeline of how long somebody has been looking for properties already from that question. If they don't really give us a great answer, then that's gonna be my next question. If you've been looking at properties for this long, when are you trying to buy a home? Are you trying to wait until the spring? Are you trying to buy right now? Or are you waiting until after the elections or interest rates drop? We hear it all around here. But what am I doing? I'm asking questions because I want to see what their needs are. I'm not pushing them directly into assuming that they're ready to buy. So I'm de-escalating the situation here of whenever a lead comes in. I'm trying to make sure they understand I'm here whether it's a year from now or tomorrow. We can do both. So now that I've gotten how long have they been looking, when they need to buy, what's next, how are they planning on purchasing? Now, what do we all ask as realtors? Have you been pre-qualified for a loan? Have you been pre-approved? Have you talked to a lender? No, stop with that BS. You need to ask, so how are you planning on paying for this property? Why? Because you got a bunch of country bumpkins in my area at least where they say, oh, you don't think that I can buy a house? I got to get a loan. I can't pay cash. Well, I got this much money pulling out of my overalls. Yes, they'll carry 5-10 grand in their overalls, but you don't think that they got any cash because you just offended them by asking them, what type of loan are you getting? Have you talked to a lender? So the correct question to ask whenever you're asking all this is, how are you planning on paying for that property? And pause. Because now you've left the door open. Maybe they're gonna pay for it by a gift from their parents. And you're gonna say, oh, I gotta go talk to the parents now to make sure they're all on the same page. Or, oh, they're using cash and we can go buy anything. Or they say, I'm getting a loan. Well, guess what? Now we gotta ask, well, you've said you're gonna get a loan on property. What type of loan are you planning on getting? Because I don't wanna show you properties that don't fit every loan product that's out there. Now notice I didn't say anything about price. But in our areas, we've got properties that are USDA eligible areas. We've got properties that are FHA eligible. We've got properties that are conventional that you can do anything with. But I don't want to show you a property that doesn't fit the loan product that you're looking at and waste your time and energy. I still haven't got to the point of saying, are you pre-approved? But we're working it out all the way through this conversation right here. So we talk about what type of loan and they say, oh, I don't know. Oh, have you not talked to a lender yet? There you go. Or they say, oh yeah, I've got my pre-approval letter. I don't know what kind of loan they pre-approved me for. Well, can you send me that so I can see what's going on? Because right now I've done everything other than ask who their lender is. They can go ahead and tell me everything by asking these who, what, where, when, why questions. If they haven't talked to a lender yet and they say, oh, I'm gonna get a loan, I just haven't talked to my lender yet, it's totally cool. But I just wanna let you know, a lot of people won't take you very serious if you don't have a pre-approval. And I don't want to show you properties that don't fit your loan, whether it's pricing, condition, location, any of those kinds of things. I I don't want to send you something like that and get your hopes up and then you're using a different kind of loan product. Or what if you found that property of your dreams and you needed to get a pre-approval letter so you can put in this offer, but your lender's not getting back to you and you can't get that pre-approval letter and you miss out on that house. Lastly, some people like to use the thought process of, well, I don't want to show you properties that aren't in your price range. Again, I think that's terrible, but I'm gonna say to them, if you go ahead and get pre-approved, you're gonna sort of know what your payments are gonna be, and we need to be able to judge off of the location, whether it's city taxes, different county taxes, things like that, to make sure that we're in the same spot. We also don't wanna show you properties that aren't gonna fit what your pre-approval's for. I don't want to show you something that's a $200,000 property and you're approved for $400,000 now that the interest rates are going down. See, I twisted it the other way. Make them think, oh, you might be able to get more. But really and truly, we don't want to show them $500,000 houses and they're approved for $300,000. And then when they go to look at $300,000 house, they're still stuck on that $500,000 house. You have ruined them as a client. Sort of like giving somebody filet mignon and then ending up handing them ground chuck for the rest of their life. They're going to be pissed off at you. The next step in this mind map tree that you want to talk about is, why are you wanting to buy a house? And ask that question. So why are you looking to buy? Are you looking because your family's getting larger or smaller? And you can start building a model in your head of what that client's looking for. And why do I say that? Because most people have no clue what they're looking for. I see people all the time tell me that school districts don't matter. I don't care how far I'm from work or my family. I can just go live anywhere if it's the right property. And you start showing them properties that are nowhere near their world. And they're like, this is too far away from blah, blah, blah. So we've wasted our time and energy. So we ask them, why are you looking to buy? And they'll give you those answers. They'll be like, I need somewhere to entertain a little bit more, or I need some area because my kids are getting bigger, or I need a downsize because my kids have grown up. I'm always processing in my head, what's going on here? What's their true reason behind purchasing this property? Also, while they're explaining all of this, make sure that you're taking down notes and you're repeating. It's called mirroring if you're a Chris Voss fan like I am. So I'm gonna repeat them. Okay, so you're looking for an entertaining area, so you wanna be able to have a swimming pool in the backyard and a grill and all that fun stuff. Am I right? They'll answer you. Remember, you're only talking 20% of this whole conversation here. Our next question in the who, what, where, when, why is the who. Who is buying this property? Am I talking to the correct person? Am I talking to the person who's going to make the decision on whether we sign on that dotted line? Or are you married and we need to go ahead and get your spouse an account set up on side of our website? Or is your parents buying this property for you? It doesn't really matter, but we need to make sure in our head that we know what's going on. So A, our paperwork is correct, and B, we know that we are talking to the correct person that is going to be the decision maker of the house. I don't know if you've ever sold Kirby vacuums or any door-to-door salesman, Rainbow, whatnot. They always make sure that whenever they're doing the sales presentation, they'll be like, are you married? Yes. Okay. Well, when can both you and your wife be there? Because they want both decision makers to be there whenever they're trying to make their pitch. We, on the other hand, I don't care that the other one's on the phone, but I do want to make sure that that other person is there whenever I'm scheduling showings or whenever I'm looking at loan paperwork, making sure that everything's documented correctly and the paperwork says the actual real owner of the name. So that is the who that is buying. Now remember, all these other agents that they talk to, they're just going straight to the point of, oh, this is the price of the property, do you want to go see it? We're not doing that. I've not gotten to that yet. I haven't asked any questions on the specific property of the reason why they signed up, things like that. I'm just trying to get a little background information off of this. And my last question is the first question y'all always ask. What are you looking for? What do you want in a property is your question. And that is a terrible question. Why, you might ask? What do you want means I am hopes and dreams and everything else. What do you need? What do you need in a property says, this is what I gotta have. Now, if I ask you, what do you need in a property? And you said, I need 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, a swimming pool for $100,000. Well, I'm gonna say, which of those are needs and which ones are wants? Because at that price point, you're probably not gonna find a 5-bedroom property. And if you do, I'm gonna buy it first. But as a whole, we find out the difference between their wants and needs, between the whose wants and needs. So if you're asking the husband what he wants, but there's a wife or the dad's buying the property. His wants and needs might be, I need to have good resale value because I don't trust my kids because of their lifestyles and everything else, blah, blah, blah. I might have to sell this to send them to rehab. No, we're not gonna worry about what the kids ask for. We're only caring about what the dad asks for. So we need to know the difference between somebody's wants and needs, and then we're gonna start a search. When I start my searches, sometimes if they're unrealistic, I will send them everything that is on their want list, their wish list, without a price point, and say, okay, here's the area that you're looking for, here's the bedrooms and baths that you're looking for, swimming pool on 10 acres, but this is the price point that it's at. So, you know, I just want to send you that so you can be more realistic of what we got going on. Now, on the other hand, here is the pricing that's in this area and all the properties that fit that bill. So now I've set up a couple different searches for them and everything else. I have made a great conversation from one online lead. They now feel like that I really care about them and that I want to get them in the correct property for them for this time in their life. So now that I've made this whole backstory, I'm taking notes, I'm repeating everything, I'm mirroring what they're saying, I'm making sure they understand where I'm at and we got timelines. I'm gonna give them a little bit of homework at the end of this. Why? Because I want them to keep thinking about me. And their homework's gonna be either A, get pre-approved, B, look over some properties, and I'm gonna follow up with you. You know, I'm setting dates. All homework has real dates that are set. My wife was a school teacher. I know this for a fact. For example, if I say, hey, so when we get off of here, I'm going to set you up with a customized home search. And I don't know if you realize this, but every single website that you click on, it goes to a multitude of different agents. So if you just use our search engine, it's got its own app. The only person you're gonna talk to is me. There's nobody else that's gonna see your stuff or what you're looking for. And I can also see what you actually like and what you're searching on your own. And maybe your opinion changes a little bit about an area or your price point. I can see what you're sort of looking at. The app is great. It updates frequently, yada, yada, yada. We can say whatever works for you and your company. For us, my script is, hey, when we get off the phone, I'm gonna set you up a search and I'm also gonna send you a link to our app. Now that you signed up on our website, if you just click on that app, download it on your phone, it's gonna have all your saved searches. It has a map tool where you're riding around, you wanna see what properties are for sale in this neighborhood or that neighborhood, you're good. And I can see what you do. It is a Big Brother style website. So if you wanna share it to somebody, you can. If you wanna favorite a property, you wanna change your search, I can see what you got going on. So we're gonna do that. And then we're gonna follow up in about a day or two, and we're gonna go ahead and confirm that time with them immediately. So you're gonna do this homework, you're gonna look at these properties, you're gonna go get pre-approved, whatever it is, and I'm going to call you on 2 days from now at this time. Why do we set those times and those parameters? One, it sets them up the expectation to expect your call. Two, y'all all suck at follow-up. I mean, absolutely suck at follow-up. So if now I've set a time and a date and you don't do it, well, guess what? You now just piss somebody off if you didn't call them. So we're just sort of making a little bit of a safety net of responsibilities for you. So I set that up, and then I'm gonna tell them, if you've got any questions, let me know. I'm going to give them that homework, and if they're not pre-approved, I'm gonna tell them, I'm gonna give you a couple of my lenders' information, so you can be expecting them to call. And if they're not pre-approved, that's totally okay. Guess what? I'm gonna give you a couple lenders' contact information, and I'm gonna do the same for them, so they can be expecting their call. Really and truly, we just got somebody else that's in our corner that's gonna be calling the exact same lead, talking about getting pre-approved for us. Versus if we just give the phone number to the lead to call the lender, we're waiting on them. Now we are in the driver's seat, they are not. So that's a lot of different things that I would do. I know it's a long video of how to communicate with that very first time with the lead that you get them on the phone and how to convert them. Got any questions? Feel free to put them in the comment section and let me know what other videos you want to see. Thanks.